fashionings of man. Out of the substance of his natural surroundings, an object of beauty created by hands. In a land that has raced into the super-industrial era, in only a few decades, a 1,000-year-old tradition endures. Today, the production of handmade paper in Japan retains an ancient heritage of painstaking process and technique. Working with the seasonal rhythm of the earth, the highest quality paper is produced in the cold winter months. From the bark of a small mulberry tree, growing wild, comes the raw material. The soft bark is pounded into a fine tissue of strong, white fibers. The delicate hibiscus plant provides a vegetable starch, which is an indispensable ingredient of handmade paper. It acts as a strengthening and adhesive agent, ensuring a close intertwining of the fibers. In a large tub, the bark fibers are blended with the starch. A true master of his craft, Eshiro Abe has been designated a living national treasure of Japan. His techniques and artistry represent a truly authentic tradition. The starch prevents the layers of wet paper from sticking together. The mixture settles onto the fine mesh of a bamboo screen, spreading out into a thin, even layer. With meticulous skill, the craftsman is able to distribute fibers of varying lengths evenly onto a flat surface. The raw materials of nature, coaxed and molded into a graceful statement of human ingenuity. In the final stage of production, a terraced landscape of paper set outside to dry on a crisp winter morning. The natural sunlight strengthens the fibers of the paper and bleaches them to a natural shade of white. Shoji, or paper-covered sliding doors, represent a classical image of Japan. The quiet harmony of a straw-matted room is enhanced by these delicate partitions. Subdued light and shadow, transmitted through the opaque paper of shoji screens, reflects the Japanese aesthetic sense. On the exquisite texture of handmade paper, a calligrapher distills a profound thought into a few bold and artistic strokes of the brush. A Japanese umbrella. Through the great variety of its applications, handmade paper has been truly integrated into the lives and culture of the Japanese people. Ukiyo-e, a 300-year-old tradition, lives on, recreating images of a rich history. Durable, handmade paper is essential to woodblock printing. As many as 15 colors may be rubbed into a single sheet of paper. The elaborate designs of the kimono are drawn and cut from strong paper stencils before being painted directly onto the silk. A delicate paper fan becomes an eloquent extension of the dancer's hand, evoking the movement of wind and waves. Spontaneous designs of nature are translated onto sensitive tissues of paper. Handmade paper adapts to Western-style living, infusing a contemporary home with warmth and serenity. Origami is a common pastime of Japanese children. Nimble fingers transform simple squares of paper into whimsical forms. The artistry of a Japanese table setting on handmade paper. Paper lanterns add to the atmosphere of a summer evening. Handmade paper has played an important role on festive occasions for centuries. With the moving cycle of the seasons, a tradition of hands is perpetuated. The soul of Japan may be sooner found in this rustic workshop than in the throbbing heart of her industry.